Welcome to this explainer. I am so thrilled you're joining me today because we are going to unpack a technological milestone that is completely reshaping the landscape of global security. We're looking at this incredible, really high-stakes tension that's unfolding right now in the tech world. On one side, we have the terrifying and frankly unprecedented hacking potential of new frontier AI models. And then, on the exact opposite side, there's this unbelievable defensive coalition of tech giants that has just formed to stop it. We're talking about Anthropic's Claude Mythos preview and the absolute race to secure our digital infrastructure.
Okay, let's dive into this. $500 billion. That is the estimated annual global cost of cybercrime today. We're talking about everything from ransomware attacks on hospitals and schools to massive data breaches, all the way up to state-sponsored attacks on critical infrastructure. It's already a monumental crisis, right? But with the recent advancements we're seeing in artificial intelligence, experts are warning that this crisis is about to be supercharged. The barriers to entry for cybercrime are absolutely plummeting, while the capabilities of the attackers are just skyrocketing.
Section 1. Meet Claude Mythos Preview.
So, to really understand why this is happening right now, we need to meet the catalyst. Anthropic recently developed an unreleased frontier model called Claude Mythos Preview. And listen, this isn't just your standard chatbot that helps you draft emails. Mythos Preview possesses profound agentic coding and reasoning skills. It has literally reached a level of capability where it can rival, and in some cases actually surpass, the world's most skilled human hackers when it comes to finding and exploiting software vulnerabilities autonomously. To figure out exactly what this model was capable of, the UK's AI Security Institute, or the AISI, put Mythos Preview to the test. And they didn't just use legacy chat-based probing. They used what are called Capture the Flag, or CTF, challenges. In the cybersecurity world, CTFs are like these incredibly complex puzzles where an AI model has to independently navigate a system, sniff out hidden weaknesses, and exploit them to retrieve a hidden flag. It requires sustained reasoning, a ton of creativity, and really deep technical knowledge.
And this brilliantly illustrates just how massive this leap in capability really is. On expert-level practitioner tasks, the previous best frontier models scored a flat 0%. Nothing. They couldn't even touch these challenges prior to April 2025. But Claude Mythos Preview? It succeeds 73% of the time. This isn't just some gradual, incremental improvement, it is an absolute paradigm shift. We literally went from AI being a novice to an expert-level threat practically overnight.
Section 2. The Ultimate Hacker Test.
Now, the AI Security Institute knew that solving isolated puzzles isn't exactly the same as executing a real-world cyber attack. Real attacks require sustained, complex operations across multiple network segments. So to test real-world attacks, they pushed the model even further using a simulated cyber range they built, appropriately called the Last Ones. This is a massive 32-step corporate network attack simulation that normally takes highly trained human experts about 20 hours of focused work to complete. The whole simulation is broken down into grueling phases. It starts with initial network reconnaissance, then moves into exploiting specific vulnerabilities, and eventually requires the attacker to achieve full corporate network takeover. And in testing, Claude Mythos Preview became the very first AI model to autonomously solve the Last Ones from start to finish. In 3 out of its 10 attempts, it completed all 32 steps without any human intervention at all, and across all runs, it averaged 22 out of 32 steps. It was basically acting as a fully autonomous cyber agent.
Section 3. Exposing decades-old flaws.
Now, you might be thinking, well, okay, that's just a simulation, but the reality is actually so much more concerning. Let's shift our focus from those simulated corporate ranges to the shocking, real-world zero-day vulnerabilities that Mythos Preview has recently uncovered out in the wild. Anthropic basically set the model loose on major operating systems and web browsers just to see what it could find, and the results were completely eye-opening. The AI found thousands of high-severity zero-day vulnerabilities entirely on its own. For example, it discovered a 27-year-old bug in OpenBSD, which is an operating system famous for being incredibly secure, by the way, that allowed an attacker to remotely crash a machine just by connecting to it. 27 years! It also found a 16-year-old bug in FFmpeg, a hugely popular video software tool that had somehow survived 5 million automated security tests. And terrifyingly, it actually figured out how to autonomously chain together multiple vulnerabilities in the Linux kernel to escalate from a basic user all the way to having complete control over a server. We are talking about deep-seated flaws that survived decades of rigorous human review, just found by this AI like it was nothing.
So, the crucial point is perfectly captured by Ilya Zaitsev, the Chief Technology Officer at CrowdStrike. He points out that the timeline has fundamentally changed.
What used to take human adversaries months to find and exploit now happens in minutes with AI. The window for defenders to patch a system before it gets attacked has completely collapsed. This really underscores the absolute urgency of the situation we're in. We are facing a landscape where AI-assisted attackers are going to launch more attacks way faster and with unprecedented sophistication.
Section 4. Enter Project Glasswing.
But there is a silver lining here, and it's a massive one. Recognizing this incredible threat, the tech industry has launched an unprecedented response called Project Glasswing. The goal here is simple but totally monumental: to harness these exact same offensive AI capabilities and put them right to work for proactive defense. Basically, if the AI is the world's best hacker, we need to employ it as the world's best security guard. And I absolutely love the metaphor behind the name of this initiative. Project Glasswing is named after the great Odo, which is the glasswing butterfly. Its transparent wings actually allow it to hide in plain sight to evade harm. It beautifully represents exactly what this project is trying to do with software vulnerabilities, exposing those dangerous flaws that are hidden in plain sight within our critical infrastructure and fixing them to evade harm through a real commitment to transparent defense.
Now, what's really interesting here is the sheer scale and makeup of this coalition. We are talking about a literal Avenger-style team-up of the biggest players in tech. You have fierce competitors: Amazon Web Services, Google, Microsoft, Apple, CrowdStrike, Cisco, NVIDIA, all sitting at the exact same table. And to fuel this whole thing, Anthropic is committing up to $100 million in model usage credits so these partners can use Mythos Preview to secure their infrastructure. They're also donating $4 million to open-source organizations to ensure the code that essentially runs the modern world gets protected too. They realize this problem is just way too big for anyone to solve alone.
Let's move to Section 5 and see how this builds into the future of cyber defense. With Project Glasswing, these organizations are using Claude Mythos Preview to proactively scan critical code bases, test binaries, and secure endpoints well before threats ever emerge. They're fundamentally changing the math of cybersecurity, ensuring that for the very first time, open-source maintainers have the exact same powerful tools as well-funded, state-sponsored attackers. We have truly entered an era where AI is the ultimate dual-use technology. It's the ultimate double-edged sword, right? The exact same agentic reasoning, the exact same coding skills that make Claude Mythos Preview so dangerous if it falls into the wrong hands are exactly what cyber defenders need right now. To outpace AI-augmented attackers, we literally have no choice but to rely on AI-augmented defenses. It is our greatest threat, but realistically, it has also become our only viable shield.
Which brings us to the ultimate, high-stakes question of our time. In the age of AI super hackers capable of unraveling decades-old code in minutes, can humanity organize, collaborate, and build a fast enough shield to maintain our defensive advantage? Project Glasswing is a massive first step, for sure, but the AI is only going to get smarter. And this race? It has only just begun. I really want you to think about that as you go about your day, relying on the incredibly complex and sometimes fragile digital infrastructure that connects our real world. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and definitely keep your eyes on this space, because the entire future of cybersecurity is being rewritten right now.